What's up, fam? All clouded. First of all, before we start the video, I have to say, if I take any mutes on the mic, it's because of all of a sudden this bloody quarter head flu, and I need to hurry up and shake it because I've got to travel away this week for work for a couple days. But gentlemen, where to from here? Where to from here? So I did do a transfer of devices, and it prompted me to claim my tourney rewards. But how's the week been going? I've made a few little tweaks to the build for the most part. We're just on that grind, fam. We are just on that grind. So, one thing I want to show you is, as far as the runs go, this one has just started because the beauty is we can do this. Look, wave 240. What do? We say go home. I gotta watch out because this emulator's already crashed on me twice. Boom, 250. And we could do it again. Resume battle. So it finally... They put the patch out this week. And they've finally done something about that, which is super choice. I think for the most part, we all knew that in the background they'll be doing something like that. So how's farming been going? So I might actually be able to show you guys what I'm playing around with at the moment. So I've actually got... I think the first person I saw do this was Greeny. And he actually banned the perk for bounce shot targets. And he did something with his range. The range I'm still yet to play around with. But I'm just going to give this a try. But what I'll do is I'll actually give it a try for the week. And see how I... how I prefer that. Or whatever. Enemy level skips. Oh, actually, the run's just started, so it's a little bit hard to see what the end run stats are going. But one thing that kind of sparked my curiosity. So, we'll look over the run stats. So, we've broken that Q an hour mark, which is really, really good. For the most part, Summon has seemed to play most of the influence over getting that Q. So we might get a little bit below, and most of that time is just due to perk selection or something like that. And the other thing we've been playing around with is tier 16. So I'm not quite at the mark, as you can see by the coin per hour, to make it work. The cells are looking pretty close. We're looking pretty close. We're doing something. That's just something that I was playing around with just to see how it goes, and then obviously overnight run. But yeah, we finally broke the Q an hour, which is pretty good. So that's at 59 second GT and a level 4 GT plus, and no econ masteries for the most part. So I've got the main econ masteries, intro sprint, wave accelerator. I've had those for a long time. Especially Wave Accelerator, I had that since Orbless. But what we will do... Oh, actually, we could just check the stats from here. So, stats for the week. 1.18. Big Q. So, damn. We're going to start climbing up in the big Qs pretty fast. We're at 96 keys. And 54,900 stones. Waves completed. 6.9 million. Bro, my nose. Hold on, one sec. Sorry, guys. Sorry. I'll try to push through this. As fast as I can. Labs completed 2.33. As far as the peaks go, I think for the most part, most people are just tracking coins per hours. But if you're interested, this is how we're looking. I don't think I've done any milestones or anything like that. Not at this stage. Maybe some stage I'll do a milestone run. But yeah, breaking the Q per hour. So you could probably actually see it well. It'd be good if I'd had the black hole perk and the CF perk. But I'll try and have a look at the summon. So we're hitting a window where we're spawn capping, and it's much easier when I've got the black hole perk, so you can see kind of I don't know, how it's just doing its thing. But the extra 12 seconds of uptime on the black hole lessens the chance, or lessens the length of the spawn cap. But that's probably made the biggest difference in the coin. Is we switched up the summon. And if you do have a similar configuration and you are running sync, you should definitely give it a try and see if it works for your build. Everything's worth a shot. So you can see it's just constantly firing off here. Gotta have a small downtime. It's about to spawn. Where is it? There. And then watch for the downtime. So it's in downtime at the moment. It's about to spawn again. Where is it? There. And it's just constantly feeding mobs. So if you've got a good killing time, you should be able to just shred it to pieces and just fully take advantage of the summon, which I think we'll be able to do a much better job of it once we get orbs adjusted. So that's pretty much how the week's been going. Just slight minor tweaks. The real question is where to from here. And I actually wish I didn't tidy up my history. I just wanted to make it easier for the video. But it actually comes from the tournament last night. So I had a hua of a grind punching through the tournament. And for a bunch of the people that tuned in, and if you did manage to hit the rewatch of the tournament last night, most of it was down to my mistakes. I was getting too greedy. I wasn't popping things at the right time. I started off with the wrong cards, etc, etc, etc. But one thing I was super interested in is if you look at your run stats, and you guys know I'm running a damage build, looking at the damage dealt. So 3.83 AA, we'll go something like this. 84957D, 8 AA, and so on and so forth. Well, what I actually looked at was, in order to get a better placement, and we'll be able to take a look at it soon, is I went back after the video and I looked at the point for the run where I did a hard respec and I pulled all of my coins out of econ and I put it into basically just raw damage and attack speed, I think, and the damage was significantly higher. Now I know you guys will be saying, Clouded, of course it's significantly higher, you added more damage to the build. But I'm talking like 7x higher. Like instantly the waves were higher, which means, you know, by nature you're gonna be dealing more damage because you're you're alive much longer. But I was actually really surprised in how much damage I put out. And the only thing that I did different was I took out of my econ tab and I put it into my damage tab. So in other words, I pulled in more coins or econ and I got a significant amount of damage. So it kind of makes me, it puts me in a point where I'm like, where to from here? And it makes me want to go for econ because things in the workshop are so expensive now that it's hard to kind of get ahead. And I can feel that the econ's not keeping up with me fast enough. And I'm sure most of us have that problem. There's always stuff that we need a lab or we need to work on and that. So it's kind of put me in a little position where I'm just like, oh, I don't really know what to do. But while I'm sitting there figuring out my life decisions, I'll just keep saving gems until I figure out what I want to do. So exit, go home. Lovely new feature. We checked over the stats. So on the tournaments, last night was the grind. I got 850 waves, so that is a PB. That's the highest I've gotten. But bro, what an absolute ripper. I ran so many times. And like heaps of it at a reduced speed too, because it was all on fast ultimate. We've been doing fast ultimate for a while. Yeah, damn, man. Yeah, it's crazy. So we end up pulling in 12, which does mean we got ourselves 4 keys, which is very, very welcomed. So the run earlier in the week, we got a rank 7. Blessed, fam. Absolutely blessed. Look at that. A cheeky rank 7 in there. So we snuck that one in there. So what that does mean is we're just 4 keys away. So as long as we get 2 keys next tourney, the midweek tourney, and 2 keys on the weekend tourney, we're getting that auto restart, fam. We're getting that auto restart. We get a super nice bracket. We'll get it midweek. If we get a super rough bracket, it doesn't matter if we get 2 rough brackets. We're going to have it by the next update video, which I'm absolutely stoked with. It's finally here, fam. It's finally here. Claim skis. I do have that dumb annoying nuke mission. And what I typically do is I adjust my cards. I think I use one of these ones. I got a whole bunch of stuff turned off. I do something like, what do I do? I take the extra orb card off because I already have workshop orbs devoed. I take that card off. I then just rely on black hole to hoard everything, to clump it all, and then I just spam the nuke. But honestly, I can't be bothered. It is 40 medals though, and it all adds up because 40 medals is also equivalent to 150 gems or 15 stones, even though the 40 medals is worth more. But you guys know what I mean. It's free currency sitting on the table, so we do have another day. I might actually complete it tomorrow or later on tonight. But yeah, then we get a new event. For the bots, here's how my golden bot's looking. So it's got a few more clicks in there. What's that? One takes it to 42. I think max is 45. So is that 5 more clicks? Bro, these clicks are so expensive too. 5 more clicks, guys. And then we'll be done with it. So here's the changes that... so store... everybody's is looking like this. We've all bought everything for the most part, and there's just a couple of things left. You guys are all looking the same. Hopefully, if you got yourself a good guild. So I did respect this section. I think I mentioned it last video. I pulled everything out of attack because I'm just not quite equipped to go that route. Here's the fetch that I settled with. I will take this down to 100 seconds. I'll take this to about 30, and I might bump this up a little. But here's my summon. So my summon's looking really good. So I was told that the max cooldown is 70 seconds. So it pretty much has like, what, a 50% uptime. So 50% of the time it's constantly spamming. By the time it finishes the duration, you guys seen how fast it was going off. It's just got, 30 odd seconds left and boom, fires off again. So this made a massive impact on the econ. Yeah, super stoked with that decision. I was a little bit nervous at the start. I was looking a bit funky, but then it managed to just do its thing, and yeah, super happy with it. So definitely consider it. So one thing to take into consideration is your kill time, especially in the higher tiers. With the battle condition against orbs, you will need to be able to kill them fast enough. There's no point having more enemies on the screen if you're just going to spawn cap. It's fine to spawn cap. It's not ideal, but it's fine to spawn cap if it's only for a second or two. But for the most part, if I just sit on the screen like this and I'm just watching that cap, it might just be for a quick second or so. It hits that 120. And then it just, the black hole, my sync time at 58 seconds is firing off long enough, and my black hole has a high enough duration. I think it's sitting at 48 seconds. That 10 odd seconds of downtime, even if spawn is like right in the mix. Did I call it spawn? Even if summon's right in the mix, I haven't really had too much hassles, and it just ends up being more econ anyway. So that was a good little experiment, and it paid off. So here's how the workshop's going. So I did ban the perk for extra bounce shots. I do have this at 2. It's not locked or anything, and that's just because I want to figure out if I want it max, if I want it shorter, if I want it this, I want it that. You guys know the drill. You know the drill. You know how we do these things. I did reduce because I did the hard respec on the taunting. So I did reduce this down to 1.5. I think we're just going to leave it there for the moment. And I've left this blank at 0 because we may experiment with locking this as well. And seeing, just reducing the landmine radius. Basically just weaning off some of the CC. You know, a little bit less shockwave, a little bit less bullets, a little bit less radius. You know, just trying to tweak it just to squeeze out a little bit more juice out of the build. For the enemy level skips, I've got this at 480 for the attack level skips. I think it's still locked. Why can't I? Is it not even locked? Oh, you can't see it for some reason. I swear I could see it before. Ah, well, who cares? Anyway, I'm pretty sure that's locked. And for this, I've got it at 520. For enhancements, I think I've crept this up a bit. So crit factors at 210, these two are 2.5, attack speed stayed the same. What it does mean is that our crit factor's at 286, so we're knocking on the door of 300. Which I think is just a cool, nice round number. There's no specific reason why I want it at 300. Like, I haven't seen something that was like, if you just divide it by the XYZ and then addition of pi or something like that. No, it's not one of those ones. I just think, you know, these are just all little mini milestones that you can set for yourself. Little stuff like that. It's the same with the coin bonus. We're so close to hitting that 3,000. I think I talked about it. And another one is just because I've seen someone else's, I thought it looked cool and I want it too. That's kind of where we're at with that. I think I did get enemy level skips up to 1.23. I've been putting a little clicksy here and there in these ones, and I'll just work its way up. So next one's 17Q, which is should be less than a day's farming. Should be less than a day's farming. So things I'm still generating enough income to buy a few things, but just obviously the rate in which I'm picking up stuff is just a hell of a lot slower. So for ultimate weapons, here's how we're looking. So we got 900 stones. So we've got enough to buy some things. Now the problem with enough to buy some things is going back to the discussion that I had before. That just spiking up my econ gave me 150 extra waves once I got my towers situated. Potentially more if I didn't muck stuff up. So it puts me in this position where I was gonna lean into Spotlight, but then I'm also like, damn, if I was just generating more coins, I'd have more invested into my workshop and I'd pick up those waves anyway. So while I'm just sitting there thinking about what I want to do, I'm just going to hold off for a bit. Like, probably the worst thing you can do, unless you're like a Giga Chad. If you're Giga Chad, obviously this doesn't count towards you. But probably one of the worst thing you can do is have your stones or any of your economy not working for you. You want it to be constantly working to increase all your stats and that. And having dormant stones is not really ideal. But I'm a little bit like, damn, what should I do at the moment? And I'm not really too sure. So I would say in the next day or two I'd figure it out if I want to actually like lean into the Spotlight, which was the original plan. I mean, we're not far off being halfway there. We're only a week's worth of tournament and we would already be at the halfway point, so we might as well just soldier on. But yeah, that's kind of where my head's at. Where to from here, fam? And we still got to double back. Well, there's just so much to do, which isn't a bad thing. I never say there's so much to do in a bad light. It just means there's ample content for me coming in the future. It's just, what should I do now? Not really too sure. gosh. So for cards and masteries, what I have decided to do, and this is going back to the workshop when I was talking about the range and the shockwave size, is I'm actually picking up a few more levels of the mastery. So I'm going to pick up 2 more. And I'm currently labbing it at the moment. And that's just to add in some locks. And then we can just muck around and tweak. That's why when I respect, I left those tabs blank. And for the most part in a tournament, they're just going to gold box anyway. But aside from that, that's just where cards are. This is what I'm actually lining up at the moment. Where are ya? I'm lining this up. Get an extra 10% of crit chance. It's only 750. We could just cough. We could just achoo and hit it. But yeah, until I figure out what I want to do, yeah, I'm just going to sit on it. Yeah, so modules. We do have some gems, so we can... I got a sharp fortitude. I think it did add an extra star, but look at the luck I've been having. It's been a little bit like that, fam. We got a G comp. I think that did give it an extra star. I think that took it to 2 star. And then I think the extra sharp fortitude. It's a shame it's not very useful for us at the moment. But some stage in the future it might be. So let's actually see if that's our lucky day. Not today. That's kind of what it's been like, guys. I don't cry over spilled milk. It is what it is. Oh. Do it for the fam. One more. Oh, wow. Bro, that's what we needed. Bro, that's what we needed, fam. Yes. Bro, you guys are like, go. Nah, mean. Do you know why? And you guys are going to see it live. So this is one thing that I was thinking about. Okay, so we do a merge. Yes. And we do this. Hey. That. Bro, see that? It tried to turn arm onto you, Uncle Fuds. Now, this is what we needed to do. Now, hear me out, gentlemen. Before you guys say that I'm stupid. So, going back to tourneys. And we calculated, well, the easiest thing to do is look at our CF duration. Now we calculated it out. That in the 800s in tourney, if I get ultimate weapon down, I think at the 58 seconds, I don't think it covers us. I think we're going to run into the problem, and I think we did in one of the tourneys, that as soon as we hit the 800 mark, this one, boom, instantly. I think this was the ultimate weapon down one. And then insta death. So, I need to pick up another thing of CF duration. And that should cover us for the 800s. I'm pretty sure. My mathing. Regardless, we need the extra 2 seconds. But if I had an assist mod and then I re-rolled and I went for ancestral CF duration, it should be 10 seconds. Which technically means, all it means is if I get the assist multiplier to 10%, it means I get that second for free. And it's not much difference in stones. In the workshop to pick up that duration, it's only 212 stones. And I think to get 10% from the efficiency, it's something like 240 or 220. So if we roll a duration on here, we'll be able to pick up the 10%. Bro, it really doesn't want to roll, eh? Damn, it's really going to do us like that. Holy moly. Sorry to do this to you guys. Something's gone up with OBS too, where you can't just like pause the video, so I'd have to take the video and then I'd have to take it over to the editor that I've got on the PC. I can't remember what program it is, and then I'd have to do that just to load it in there, just to pause it, and for some reason it won't export it at 1080. It exports it at less quality, which is super annoying. But I'll be able to get not only a second from here for roughly the same amount of stones. We'll just go that. But I'll be able to get these free stats added into my farm for freezies. So let's try to get it. This is probably the worst thing to do, is sit here rolling on a video. But don't worry guys, always keeps timestamps below. But it's really not going to roll, eh? Or has this got opportunity for me to blow my nose? Bro, I absolutely fluked that tawny run earlier in the week. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. Wow. Really doesn't want to roll. It also means that we'll pick up any other free stats along the way too. Your heart always jumps when you're like looking for something specific, and then you see like the quick green flash of an ancestral roll go past you. Bro, it's really not going to roll, eh? Did I even have it on? CF duration. Come on. Mythic roll's not enough. Otherwise, I would have already done this. Because Mythic roll's only 7 seconds. You need the Ancestral roll of 10 seconds. And then all I need is the 10 substat efficiency. But I've been waiting ages to get this Ancestral. Specifically for this reason. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. Look, even at 8 rerolls, it really doesn't want it. This is kind of like what the luck's been like trying to get CF speed reduction on my MVN. It's been exactly like this. Just brutal as. I mean, it is only 40,000 rerolls, so it's not the end of the world. It's just I can't believe it's not showing up. Come on. We will still have to probably pick up the other second. The only alternative would be to take the substat efficiency to 20%, which is quite expensive. I think it's about 800 stones in total, which in the grand scheme of things isn't all that expensive. But I think just spending the 200 on the other second, taking it to to cover Tawny, so that ultimate weapon down just won't be a problem for us. I think that's kind of the goal. I think that's the goal. Damn, it really hate to see. Okay, we're just going to call it there. I'll do it another time, because at the end of the day, I can't even purchase the assist thing unless I restart the run. Oh my god. Really hanging out for a day. Alright guys, if you get bored waiting for this, just hit the timestamp. I think I'm just itching to spend a couple hundred stones. Just a couple hundred, Uncle Fuds. Just let us spend a couple hundred. Just a free couple hundy for the boys. Ah, it's really not going to give it to us. Ah, well, as well as it is what it is. So yeah, if I just get that to 10%, boom, we'll get that free second from there, and we'll be kosher. We'll be kosher. We will be absolutely kosher. What else has been going on with the mods? Just working on the levels. Look how expensive this is now. 26Q wolf. So that's more than a day's worth of farming for a level. I suppose on the other note is that it takes quite a few days to get the 8,000 shards needed. So yeah, it's all relative. It's all relative. Oh, looks like we could pick up extra level of that, or close to it. Yeah, that's pretty much how moddies have been. Just, yeah, not super lucky with rolling modules, but then still no project fundings in sight. Yeah, just one of those things. So for labs, we're doing a bit of everything now that we don't have a mastery. I did mention before, I'm picking up 2 extra levels of the free ups, which is pretty cool. I did manage to actually finish off crit factor. So crit factor is max now, 99, boom. 99 done. In preparation for about to start amplify bot, I'm just going to polish off these labs, so at least I've got a few seconds knocked off. I don't think I'm going to follow any specific path as far as upgrading amp bot. I'm just gonna work through it. And this ranged enemy range lab, I feel like it's been super helpful. Range are a pest and tawny for me. They can easily chip me down if something manages to send them my way. So working on that is it's been a bit of a thing. And in here, I am going for the last ban. It might be clouded. Why the hell would you do a 70-day lab? And yeah, man, I know. Damn, it's a long lab. Is there other stuff that I could do at the moment? Yeah, probably. But I don't care. I'm just going to do it just because I feel like it. And I just want that extra ban. I just want that extra ban. So I think that's about 2 IRL weeks to complete the lab. So it might be completed in time for, yeah, in time for the next tourney. I have max bans. That is the last ban level. For the history, this is what we've been working on. What's the date? 15th. So it's about 8th. So we've been doing heaps of small stuff. I've mucked around with the protector radius just because they're a pain. But I don't know how much, I don't know how impactful that was. Recovery package max. Oh, that's another thing I've been doing. Recovery package. Just trying to boost up my recovery package because at 30 meter range, my wall's never up. So wall might be a bit of a thing, and having EHP in the wall if I'm running at 40 meters. But at 30 meters, bro, it's just never up. It's constantly down. And I did start on the recharge nuke. To go the whole auto nuke route, a little bit of a mish. What I was actually thinking is doing the recharge nuke, because the actual auto fire thing for the nuke is only 15 keys, I think. But then to get the next tab where you get it to save you from a blow, main reason is purely out of hatred for that lab, that event mission. That if I just stomached it, bought the 15, unequip a card, have it every 300 waves, it fires off and does its thing, just so I could just ignore that mission. I hate that mission so much. So I'm doing it purely out of hatred. And eventually, yes, we'll get it to the stage where we do the dealing blows, the killing blows or whatever. So for this week, the biggest thing for this week is for us to just cruise and to pick up those keys and get that auto restart. And I can't wait to share that moment with you guys. So if you like what you see, you know the drill, fam. Like, comment, share and subscribe. Hit the notification button so you can see when the next video is coming out. And as always, keep it cloudy, fam.